There is a photograph on the moon right now. A family portrait. A man, a woman, their two young sons, all smiling. It has been lying in the grey dust of the Descartes Highlands for over 50 years. No wind to move it, no rain to ruin it. Nothing to disturb it at all. The man who left it there is still alive. His name is Charlie Duke. He is 90 years old. And here is what he remembers. Charles Moss Duke Jr. grew up in Lancaster, South Carolina in the 1940s. Flat land, pine trees. The loudest thing in the sky was a crop duster. He was quiet as a kid, methodical. He didn't dream about space. In the 1940s, space wasn't something you dreamed about. It was science fiction, and science fiction was for odd people. He wanted to fly fighter jets. That was the whole ambition. Clean and earthly. He went to the Naval Academy, then MIT for a master's in aeronautics, then became a test pilot. The kind of man who climbed into screaming machines and thought about data. In the spring of 1969, he was 33 years old, stationed in Houston, when the phone rang. NASA wanted him to be the CAPCOM, the capsule communicator, for a mission called Apollo 11. His job was simple to describe and almost impossible to do. Be the only voice Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin would hear from Earth during the most important few hours in the history of the human species. He wrote a note to himself that morning. It said, "What do I wear?"
July 20th, 1969. Mission Control, Houston. The room is cold. The screens glow green and white. There are 400 million people on Earth with their ears pressed to radios. Charlie Duke is at his console with a headset on. He has practiced this moment hundreds of times. He is as prepared as a human being can be. Then the alarms start. 12:02, 12:02, 12:02. The onboard guidance computer is overloading, receiving more data than it can process. Nobody in the room had ever seen it fire like this during a real descent.
A 26-year-old named Steve Bales was the man responsible for that computer. He had one backroom engineer, Jack Garman, 24 years old, who had a handwritten cheat sheet of every alarm code taped under his console glass. Garman found it. Computer overload. Not fatal. Keep going. Armstrong and Aldrin kept flying. 60 seconds later, the Eagle landed. Charlie Duke exhaled for the first time in 4 minutes.
3 years later, it was his turn. April the 21st, 1972. The lunar module Orion touched down in the Descartes Highlands. John Young stepped out first. Then Charlie Duke stepped off the ladder and became the 10th human being and the youngest to stand on the surface of the moon. He was 36 years old. He has described the moment in interviews for 50 years. The same word always comes first. Beautiful. Not terrifying, not alien. Beautiful. Duke and Young spent 71 hours on the surface. 3 separate moonwalks. It was the third and final moonwalk, April 23rd, 1972, when Duke decided to jump. Duke and Young had been working for hours, collecting geological samples from the rim of North Ray crater, when the moment got to Duke. He decided to attempt something, a standing jump, straight up, as high as he could go, what he later called the Lunar Olympics. He leapt. He reached about 4 feet off the surface. Then his backpack pulled him over backwards, and he fell. A cracked helmet visor, a torn glove seam, a pinhole anywhere in the fabric. Any one of those ends the mission. Any one of those ends the man. He landed flat on his back, lay still for a second, stared up at the black sky with the sun burning in it, the most wrong thing he had ever seen. Then he felt the suit, intact. He rolled over, stood up, and said nothing into the radio. John Young asked if he was all right. Duke said, "Yeah, let's keep going." Later in that same EVA,
Before heading back to Orion for the last time, he reached into his suit and removed a small package wrapped in plastic. Inside, a family portrait. Himself, his wife Dorothy, their sons, Charles, who had just turned 7, and Thomas, who was 5. He laid it on the surface. He took a photograph of it, lying there in the dust. He has never gone back to get it. Neither has anyone else. Charlie Duke is now 90, one of the oldest surviving links to the program. One of the last men who flew to the moon and can still walk on stage and describe what it felt like, without notes, without prompting, without hesitation. He still travels. He speaks in church halls, auditoriums, school gymnasiums. He brings a copy of the photograph to every talk, the family portrait now lying somewhere in the grey dust of the Descartes Highlands, and he holds it up. This is my family. They're still up there. The photograph itself is not the way he left it. Duke has said the temperature of the moon swings from over 200 degrees Fahrenheit in sunlight to nearly 280 below in shadow every lunar cycle. He suspects the paper is long gone. What remains, he says, is the plastic and the image on it. Curled, faded, 50 years of radiation and temperature swings out there in the silence. The gesture, though, that remains perfectly intact.
What Apollo gave the world was proof. Human beings can leave this planet, travel 250,000 miles, land on another world, and come home. Not as theory, as fact. What it gave Charlie Duke is harder to measure. He became a Christian lay witness in the 1970s. He has said more than once that standing on the moon did not make him feel powerful. It made him feel small, and that he found that smallness deeply comforting. The beauty, the stark contrast between the brilliant grey of the moon and the blackness of space. The grey was so bright it was almost white, a sharp break between the surface and the horizon. The sun was always shining, so you didn't see stars or planets. It was just you and the surface and the silence. Charlie Duke, 2018.
The Descartes Highlands sit where they always have. No wind, no rain, no one. There is no plaque for the photograph, no marker, no record of the exact coordinates. Just a small square of curled plastic somewhere in grey dust, in a place where the temperature swings by nearly 500 degrees every month, and no human being has visited in over 50 years. Charlie Duke is 90 years old. He still gives the talks. He still holds up the copy. He keeps telling us it's up there, as if he needs someone else to remember where he left it.